back to the deep dive. This is where we take the source material you send our way, and we really just distill the most potent insights to help you get better informed instantly. Today, we're doing a particularly fascinating deep dive. We're looking at the career and legacy of Dr. Pamela Monk Kelley. Our sources track her for nearly 5 decades, all focused on the New Haven community. So for you listening, our mission here isn't just a biography. It's more of a study.
Yeah.
We want to understand the mechanism. How does sustained local leadership across fields that seem so different, education, preservation, even entrepreneurship, how does that create such deep, enduring change?
Exactly. I mean, Dr. Kelley's story is so remarkable because it really does feel like a blueprint you could follow. It shows how these really powerful foundational values, faith, family, service, excellence, they don't just stay as like abstract ideas. They translate directly into tangible community uplift. I mean, touching everything from education to history to economic opportunity. And I think we need to focus on finding those unexpected connections.
Okay, so let's unpack this blueprint. Let's start where she spent, the vast majority of her professional life, the New Haven public school system. 5 decades is. That's an incredible tenure in one place.
It's unbelievable.
So what were the specific, the high-leverage roles that let her define her impact inside that massive structure?
Well, she focused her energy on roles that put her right at the intersection of, let's say, vulnerability and opportunity.
Okay.
So she was mainly a special education teacher, and this is crucial, a planning and placement team chairperson. A PPT chairperson.
And the PPT, just to be clear, that's the table where the big decisions get made for students with unique needs, right?
That's the high-stakes table, exactly. You're talking about resources, accommodations, the entire, the whole educational path for these students. She was right there tailoring education to meet very specific, often urgent needs for decades.
And what's so striking is the knowledge she brought to that table. When you look at her academic background, it's not just deep in one area, it's incredibly broad.
It really speaks to this idea that to be effective in public service, you need diverse tools. She has advanced degrees in school psychology, counseling, special education administration, and a doctorate in theology.
Wow.
And that background, it's not just, decorative. It informs her ability to solve these complex problems. For example, her psychology expertise directly informs how she assesses needs in a PPT meeting.
And the administration background helps her actually get it done in the system.
Get it done in the bureaucracy, exactly.
Yeah.
It gives her that strategic view.
Okay, here's where the practical application gets, I think, really potent. Let's look at a specific initiative she championed, the Gateway to College Scholarship Program. How effective was something like that in reality?
It was. It was revolutionary because it was so targeted.
That too.
The audience for Gateway was students who were over age and undercredited. The ones who were often, classified as having failed the traditional high school structure.
Yeah.
The ones who were marginalized, disengaged. And instead of just remedial classes, her program created this whole new pathway. It allowed them to earn their high school diplomas and college credits at the same time.
So it wasn't a stopgap measure. It was a genuine launchpad.
A launchpad, precisely. It was a system designed to propel them forward,
Yeah.
giving them the dignity of college credit with their diploma. It fundamentally altered their sense of what was possible for their future.
Yeah.
For you, the learner, her dedication to getting all these varied degrees, from psychology to theology, it really reflects this core belief that knowledge isn't just power. It's the foundational tool you need for truly complex, high-impact problem solving.
So the depth of the learning allowed for the breadth of the service.
That's a perfect way to put it. Yes.
So if you spend 5 decades shaping the future, it just makes sense that you'd start to care deeply about the stories and the history they inherit. Which brings us to her work as a cultural and institutional preservationist. So let's look at the mechanism she created to honor the past while at the same time funding the future.
That connection is absolutely key. She didn't treat history like some dusty thing in an archive. She treated it as a resource for today's students.
Okay, look what?
Take the Lee Career High School's Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
She conceived of it in 2018. The whole effort is just brilliant in how it's institutionalized. It honors distinguished alumni, right? So it preserves the school's legacy.
Sure.
But, and this is the critical part, that mechanism is tied directly to raising scholarship funds for current students. She created this powerful, self-sustaining loop.
Ah, so historical pride directly fuels current educational opportunity.
Exactly. It's a really sophisticated way to build in funding.
And what about the second big effort, the one that dealt with the struggles of the educators themselves?
Right. That was the commemoration of the New Haven teachers who were actually,
Right.
they were incarcerated during the 1975 teacher strike.
Which was a huge deal.
A moment of immense professional sacrifice and community struggle. So by playing a key role in making sure their stories were remembered, she rooted the current teachers in this history of, powerful advocacy and resilience. What the pattern suggests is a leader who gets mentioned that you have to be looking both forward with scholarships and backward, honoring those institutional struggles. You can't build a strong future without respecting the community's shared history.
And she took this even further, didn't she? Moving from institutional memory to the very personal history as a family historian.
Yeah, she wrote 2 books, All Roads Lead to Newton Grove and Hello Cousins.
And what was the ambition with that?
This is about preserving and sharing African-American family history, about fostering a dialogue, about origin, resilience, and pride. It's a massive undertaking, especially with the historical challenges of documenting African-American genealogy.
And this personal work, it unexpectedly brought national attention. It sort of moved her out of just the local sphere.
That's right. Her work got national recognition when she was featured in People magazine.
For what specifically?
For her efforts to heal historical divides that are rooted in slavery. And this raises a really important question for anyone interested in social change.
Which is?
That the personal narrative genealogy, family stories, it can become this crucial, unexpected tool to impact broader social understanding. It just shows the incredible power of microhistory when you apply it to these macro issues.
Okay, let's shift focus now to her role in civic life, so operating outside the school system. She co-chaired the Hill North Community Management Team. For listeners who aren't familiar with that kind of hyper-local governance, what does a team like that actually do?
You can think of it as the strategic connective tissue for a neighborhood. She was acting as this crucial bridge, a synthesizer, connecting residents who are often disconnected with local churches, with all the various municipal agencies.
And the issues they're tackling are the basics of daily life.
Totally. Public safety, zoning disputes, just accessing city services. The goal was to strengthen that neighborhood cohesion so that when a problem came up, there was a reliable bridge to address it systemically instead of letting it fracture the community.
That requires an incredible amount of diplomacy and trust. And looking at her current service, she's applied those same skills to a particularly vulnerable population, veterans.
Absolutely. The source material really highlights her work with the National Veterans Council for Legal Redress. And her leadership there is focused on a really stark fundamental need.
Which is housing.
Affordable housing. For unhoused and disabled veterans in the greater New Haven area. This isn't just charity work. It's applying sophisticated advocacy and resource management to solve a severe housing crisis. The overarching lesson here is just the consistency of her values.
Yeah.
Dr. Kelley's leadership, it demonstrates this unwavering stand-up philosophy.
The commitment to advocate for those who are overlooked.
Exactly. She applied the same energy to undercredited high school students that she now applies to disabled veterans facing housing insecurity. Her impact is described as both deeply personal and broadly communal. She connects directly with people's needs and makes sure resources are not just offered, but actually deployed successfully.
It's just so interesting how she translates that passion across such different spheres, from academia to civic management to housing development for veterans.
And what she carries across all of them is applied expertise. She's leveraging her understanding of administration, of community psychology, the tools she got from those degrees to address the logistical and emotional complexity of veterans' housing. She turns compassion into real, tangible results.
Which is fascinating because someone so dedicated to education and civic infrastructure can also be this engine of creativity and entrepreneurship. How did she blend that expressive side of her personality with her commitment to the community?
Well, the source material shows her innovative spirit was always there, channeled through music, art, fashion, performance. It was always a core part of who she is.
Right.
But later, she took that creative impulse and strategically weaponized it for economic good. It wasn't just self-expression anymore. It became an engine for other people's careers.
So how did she do that? How did she channel that into real economic opportunities for artists in New Haven?
She funneled her energy into creating structured entertainment ventures. Things like local television programming, even a successful karaoke business. And crucially, these weren't just passive investments.
You were intentional.
Very intentional platforms, designed specifically to showcase local artists. She recognized that talent, needs a stage and a business model to actually thrive. What this pattern suggests is a strategic use of kind of soft power. She used her creative network to solve an economic problem.
Which was, how do local artists get from regional recognition to national visibility?
Exactly that. And that focus on building platforms, it resulted in serious national reach.
So can you detail the mechanics of that, the local to national pipeline?
Yeah, through her extensive modeling and production network, which she developed over years in the industry, she actively facilitated opportunities for New Haven talent to get onto national stages.
So we're talking about concrete economic empowerment.
Absolutely. Getting local people visibility in national magazines, TV shows, theater, the music industry. She basically engineered a connection point. She used her own creative credibility as currency to open doors that would otherwise have just stayed shut for local artists.
So what this all means then is that creativity for her wasn't an escape from service. It was something she intentionally harnessed and deployed as a robust tool for empowerment.
A tool for economic opportunity, connecting local talent directly to professional careers, and national visibility. It's a really compelling model for anyone looking to blend the arts and commerce for community benefit.
What an incredible, multifaceted journey we've traced today. I mean, we've covered the entire scope of Dr. Pamela Monk Kelley's legacy, from the deep analytical work in special education and launching the Gateway program, all the way to housing advocacy for veterans, preserving family history for national recognition, and engineering these creative platforms for economic empowerment. Her life's work is just a testament to leading with this unwavering purpose, always grounded in faith, family, and dedicated service to her community.
And I think the final takeaway for you, the listener, is this powerful idea that achieving personal excellence, that pursuit of knowledge across 5 different advanced degrees, and standing up tirelessly for your community, they are not mutually exclusive.
No?
In fact, they're mutually reinforcing. Her relentless pursuit of knowledge is what allowed her to effectively serve, and her commitment to service constantly drove her to find new, multidisciplinary solutions.
So as you reflect on this deep dive, consider this final thought. Think about the depth of her academic pursuits and the sheer breadth of her service. How many different pathways to success, academic, creative, civil, historical, can one person support just by staying rooted in service and a commitment to lifelong learning? Which of these unexpected reinforcing connections that Dr. Kelley created in her community might you explore further in your own work or even in your next field of study?
Is every little thing gonna be alright? Singing, don't worry about a thing. Is every little thing gonna be alright? Rise up this morning, smile with the rising sun. 3 little birds pitch by my doorstep, singing sweet songs of melodies pure and true, saying, this is my message to you.